Today I'm going to be doing some knotting. So I would call it pearl knotting, but I'm not using pearls. I am using silk. Um, so just to give you some little techniques of some other things you can do, you don't have to only knot pearls. So I'm using here what you can look it up as a knot cover as the first bead-ish item on my um, silk, and I forgot to just put a knot in the end of the silk to make sure that nothing falls off. So that knot cover, and then I string on all of the beads that I'm going to use. I wasn't sure how many I was going to use, so I just strung on what I thought would be enough, and I did not put the other end knot cover on yet because you can always add more beads or take beads off and do that later. Um, and then just a little bit of keeping things tidy. Wrap the silk back around the card with the needle. You want to work on the end of the cord away from the needle so that your needle can be used for future projects on this silk and you don't cut it off. So I'm using some very pointy tweezers, and you can see I made a knot, and then I reach the tweezers through the inside of the knot to grab the silk and pull it tight, and then without pulling it, I gently remove the tweezers and then use the tweezers to slide the knot against my bead, or in this case the knot cap, and then I just slide the next bead down and do the same thing. Reach through the knot with the tweezers, grab the cord, pull down, and then leaving it a little bit loose, carefully remove the tweezers and then tighten that knot down against the bead. So the pattern I'm doing has, let's say, stations of beads. So I'm doing the same pattern with some very tiny yellowish crystals and some larger blue crystals, where I'm sandwiching the blue crystals between the yellow ones. And then what I'm doing differently on this necklace, if you saw my previous knot tutorial, I'm putting some blank space between my bead stations. So I'm just using a ruler to make sure that I'm fairly consistent with about an inch between my beads, and I'm just going to add another knot here, doing the same thing, reaching through the knot with the tweezers, grabbing the cord, and then closing my knot up before sliding my next bead into position. So that gives a little bit of open space to this necklace, similar to the illusion necklace that I did with the nylon thread, but this is clearly not invisible. You can see this dark blue silk cord. So through the magic of editing, we will see me do some of these so you can just get more familiar with the technique that I'm doing, although very quickly, and then uh, I will almost be done and we will get to the other end of the necklace. So you can see I'm just pulling then the much longer necklace through that knot each time, making my little uh, spacer here of about an inch and pulling my knot into position so that it's got that space with no beads on it at all. What I really like about doing knotting like this is that it is a great traveling craft. So if you're going to be on an airplane or a bus or train for a long period of time, before you leave, you can just load up a bunch of cards with your beads on the silk, and all you need then for most of this work is a pair of tweezers, and so you can just sit and do some knotting when you have some time where you can't go anywhere. So also the silk comes in different numbers. The higher the number, the thicker the cord. So this is a 6, and a good general rule is for a size 6 cord, use a 6 millimeter bead. It's not 100%, it's just, the holes in the 6 millimeter bead are hopefully large enough to go over the size 6 cord. So there you see I took some of the beads off of the end and added my little bead cap back on. You might say, well, why don't you just cut the silk right then and there? It's because I need room to make another knot and I don't want to waste a lot of my silk. So here I'm making my final knot with that little knot cover in place. And this is probably the trickiest knot of the whole thing, where I have to make sure I get it inside of that knot cover. So I have to reach the tweezers through the knot and into the knot cover, and then carefully pull the knot down so that it doesn't get hooked around the knot cover, but instead goes inside of it. So once that's done, I can trim off my silk. And then you can add some glue or jewelry glue or some nail polish to your knots to just make sure that they stay nice and secure inside of your knot covers. I do like to use nail polish because it's something I usually have around and I don't have to keep track of. So this is just a clear nail polish. And then I'm going to go ahead and close up that knot cover around my knot. I usually let the nail polish dry before I trim off that extra end of the silk. And then I will add my clasp, which in this case is a magnetic clasp with a cute little lock and key design. I do like to use toggle clasps or like this magnetic clasp on this kind of a knot cover. I'm not a huge fan of jump rings, so a lobster claw would be fine, except it needs something like a jump ring on one side. So that's why I'm just not as huge a fan of the lobster claws on this kind of necklace. And I could have also used copper knot covers. They come in all different metals, but that would have required me getting up and looking for them. So, oops, I just used the silvery ones that I had handy, and my clasp is copper. But, you know, are you going to complain? I'm not going to complain. So, there I'm just gently closing the knot cover end around my clasp. And then this necklace is pretty close to done. Just going to trim off those little threads. And I made this about 17 inches long, I think. So that's the good thing when you make your own necklaces. You can make them exactly how long you want. I'll show you how the little clasp opens too, because I think it's really cute.